Hey everybody, it's Dick here. Today I have installed, or I had the fine people at Jack Lilly Triumph in West London, or what is it, Jack Lilly Ashford, install heated grips. I got a buddy coming to do a early winter motorcycle tour with me, and I was afraid of the winter riding. Usually I do winter riding on my BMW and it has heated grips on it, so I had these lovely low-profile Triumph heated grips installed, and it's just that little button, and if you push that button there, the LCD tells you what's going down. So you got off, low, and high, and then it will go back to your odometer or whatever it is that your info was on. So I think that's pretty cool. I'm going to put it on high for now, and we'll see if I notice any difference to it. I wonder if they've rocked the handlebars back a little on me after the installation. I have not noticed any temperature change yet on the handlebars. Still nothing. I gotta say, the heated grips from Triumph installed at a Triumph dealership were not cheap. Ooh, I'm starting to feel a little toastiness now. Ooh, that's funny. I thought it was gradual because I wasn't feeling anything, and now it's just getting nice and warm. Yeah, they were not cheap, but the alternatives, the aftermarket ones, are not as low profile as this little button here. Ooh, nice and toasty. It was only an hour's labor, even though I was there for, I think, a bit longer than an hour. No, I was there for an hour. That's funny because part of the hour I just spent money on was for the mechanic wondering why there wasn't a hole drilled into the handlebar that they had upgraded me to, the Street Twin handlebar from the Street Cup drop bars. They're supposed to integrate the wire into the handlebars. Since the Street Cup is built off of the previous version of the Street Twin, it doesn't have the little hole. You're supposed to route the wires through the original wiring harness along that cable routing and just add new shrink wrap to it. But it took the mechanic to come talk to a salesman, the salesman to find the manager, to determine why there wasn't a hole drilled in the handlebars, whether to drill a new hole, whether to change the handlebars out. So I think I paid, well, I know I paid for that time now looking at the clock, which is a bit annoying. But they're not cheap. They're not cheap to buy. So even if you bought them and figured out how to install them yourself, which entails removing the tank, or at least lifting the tank to route the wiring, you have, I don't know, you're still spending quite a bit of money on them. But they are nice and toasty. They're not as warm. The road is, sorry, I was interrupted because I'm looking at the back here and I see a lot of water being kicked off my rear wheel, and I just did a tail tidy and I don't know how much of that water is making it to the back of my jacket. But I'm really spitting up a lot of water that I think I wouldn't have seen because it would have been caught by the factory fender that goes all the way down there. So I'm curiously watching my side view mirror here to see all that water being spit up and wondering how much of it's ending up on my back. Anyway, the heated grips are not as toasty as my BMW. My BMW has 3 settings and then off. This has 2 settings and off. This is probably as warm as the second setting on the BMW. I mean, it's warm, and I'm noticing it, but it's not that cold a day, but they're not uncomfortable to hold. They're not uncomfortable to touch. The BMW ones, if you're running them on a warm day, or running them it's not too cold out, it feels like it's too hot for your hands. Where this feels it feels warm, it feels comfortable. I'm gonna switch it down to low. When I push the button again, it shows me the setting I'm on, and then I can cycle through. So I've turned it to low. I'm gonna see how that affects the temperature. The trick too, though, since I've had them do something electric to my Triumph, I have to make sure that the electrics aren't messed up. Usually you have an issue with a really tight cable routing, or the cables are too short, and when you turn the handlebars, you cause a short, or you turn the, you pull a cable out, or you fray a cable, or you strain a wiring harness and your bike shuts down. So I'm hoping that because I had them fiddle with the electrics, the bike hasn't had any issues. There's only, I don't know, less than 1,000 miles on this thing, but luckily I haven't had any electrical issues, knock on wood, yet. But I just did have them fiddle with them, so God knows if I'm gonna now instigate some electrical issues. So I'm on the low setting, but there is some residual heat from the high setting, so maybe I should have put it on low first. But I was really curious to see how hot they'd get. But it's nice and comfortable, actually. I'm really enjoying holding the heated grips on this, and I can't say enough how great it is to have a low profile button and have it integrated into the system. I did this upgrade in anticipation of a early winter tour I'm going to take with a buddy of mine. We're going to see how the weather turns out, but it's going to be mid-November, and we have ambition to ride up to Scotland in the early winter. The long-term weather forecast does not look favorable, and the weather that we've had for September and October has not been favorable. So we're going to be flexible in our plans, but I'm doing everything I can. Look at this plane coming in. I don't know if we can see it, but whoa, I'm going to go right under it. It's funny, there's all these people who hang out in these fields watching the planes come in. They're just plane spotters. Every time I ride down to the dealership, I pass these guys by. Anyway, I'm doing my best to research all I can to prepare us for a bit of winter riding. But I spent whatever money I was going to spend on electric or heated gear, heated jackets or heated gloves or heated inserts on the heated grips. So hopefully that was a strategic enough choice. I guess we'll see. If you like that video and you want to see more like them, hit like, share, and subscribe.